Well, it's January, it's winter. We've had a abnormally warm winter, but it's cold again now. So that's great for what I'm about to do. I have got myself a new car. It's the Chevy Bolt. It's an EV. So this is my first test going winter camping with the EV. So I shouldn't have any problems. There's a spot where I'm going to charge on my way up. I have about 300 kilometers to go. And then for this test, I've booked an electrical site at a campground. I normally do a lot of backcountry camping, but I didn't want to leave the car for a few days just sitting in the cold. I thought, especially for this first test, it would be great to be able to plug in. So I'm going to be topping up on my way up and then plugging in at the site. So it's going to be an adventure. I have fully charged the car. I should get 378 kilometers out of this charge, although because it is cold, I expect I will be closer to the minimum, which is 310 kilometers. I left home with full charge on my battery. Driven 200 kilometers to Huntsville, and in Huntsville there is a IV fast charger at the Harvey's and Swiss Chalet, so that is where I've come. Plugged into that, no problem. I'm just sitting here having some lunch while it charges. It's going to take about an hour max to get up to 80% charge. I might sit here that long, or I might go a little sooner. I have 70 kilometers left to drive into the park where I'm going, where I'll have an electric site, so I should be able to plug in there as well. But it might be better to wait the hour so that I have a full charge or 80% charge. It is interesting looking at my energy usage. Since I fully charged the last time, it gives you what you've used since the last charge. So if I look at it, the impacts to my driving coming up, for most of the drive up, my Technique added range, but once I got on the highway 11, which is highway speeds, that went slightly lower, so probably lost about 4 kilometers of range based on the speeds I was driving at. The terrain, it is generally uphill to get up here, so I've lost about 8 or 9 kilometers range because of that. The climate control I had mostly off. I put it on occasionally because that does eat up a lot of your charge. Lost about 14K due to that. And just the outside temperature, it's cold out, so lost about minus 22 kilometers from that. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how that does on the way back, because I'm assuming the terrain will be a lot better. We'll be going mostly downhill. Driving technique probably be about the same. Climate, again, I'll probably not use it that much. And the outside temperature, I'll have no control over that. It's going to be cold. I do find it a little bit frustrating being a new EV driver and the general lack of fast charging available. There are 2 chargers here. One of them is down, and apparently has been down for a week or 2, according to what I've read on the apps that point out where the stations are. So only one is working. So if that wasn't working, or if it was full, I'd have some troubles. So the companies that provide this charging, they really got to get their act together. It's unacceptable to have the reliability not be almost 100%. They are the gas stations for EVs, and for Tesla drivers, you guys are lucky. Practically every Tesla supercharger has at least 8 stations to charge. So yeah, get on it, everybody else. It's important. Okay, that is all done. Charged up to 80%, and I'm just gonna head on into my campsite. I have arrived, and I'm on my campsite. My power is just on the other side of the car there. I'll need to put on some boots. It's in some pretty deep snow, so put on some boots, then I'll plug it in after I set up my tent. But yeah, made it, no problem at all. My tent is almost set up. I just have to bring the stuff for inside. That includes a wood stove. For anyone who hasn't ever gone winter camping, it is one of the best times of year to go camping. It is just amazing. I mean, you got to be prepared for the cold, but it's beautiful. There's no bugs. It's just fantastic. So I'll show you around the tent once it's all set up, but getting there. All right, my tent's all set up inside. I'll take you on a little tour. So in here, I've got set up my cot, which I'll sleep on. I got a nice minus 34 rated sleeping bag, so I'll be nice and warm at night. Got keep some stuff in a corner. I've got a little table with a battery pack on, which I can charge my phone from, and a little light. And of course, I've got the wood stove, and it's not lit yet, but later on it will be.
After I was all set up, I plugged in the car using the 30 amp plug and an adapter so I could plug it in.
Well, it's nighttime now. I'm in my tent. I've got my fire going, so it's very warm in here, actually. Very, very warm. And I'm just cooking some dinner. So got my car plugged in. It's charging. We'll see how much charge I have tomorrow. I have it set to go to 100% just so I have a lot to get back with. It says it will be complete at about 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So we'll see. I may not need a full 100%, but there it is. Good morning. It is morning now. I had a really good night. It was nice and warm in my tent when I went to bed, and I was fine in my sleeping bag. I think it got too cold last night, maybe about minus 10 or 11, I think, outside. I was fine in the tent. But it was snowing most of the night, so there's been quite a bit of snow down. So my car will be charged up. It said by 2 p.m. So I am going to leave today and head back. The weather's going to be pretty bad, so I figured it'd be better to drive before it gets worse, because it's going to be snow all day today and tomorrow. So but the plan still is to it should be fully charged by 2 p.m. and I'll leave around then, and I'll drive into Huntsville, top up there, and then make it home. So it'd be interesting to see how the trip home goes, see if it's a little bit more efficient going mostly downhill. Yeah, it's been a good experiment so far. I'm almost packed up. I just have the tent to take down. The worst part of that is it's snowing. It's been snowing all night, so the tent is going to be soaking wet, which means when I get home, I've got to hang it up to dry. Yeah, but anyway, car is almost at full charge. It'll be at full charge by the time I get the tent loaded, and then I'll be on my way. So I have a full charge. It says max 430. That would be amazing. It says I should get 365, minimum 299. So I'm basing it on the 299 because it's winter and it's cold and I might have the heat on at times. But hey, that's pretty good. Okay, I've arrived at the chargers at Huntsville. There's 2 chargers, only one works, and somebody is on it. The minimum range I have left, I could potentially make it home. I just don't want to risk it. I'd be left with like 30K left. So I need to sit here and wait for however long this thing's going to take to charge. And then I got to charge up. So as I said before, when I first got here, they need to be more reliable. There needs to be more of them, because this kind of sucks. All right, this car is only at 60% charge. They've gone somewhere to eat or something, so they're going to be here a while. So I think what I'm going to do is drive to Gravenhurst. They have some more chargers there. So hopefully that works. And if not, I'll just have to see if I can make it all the way home. I am in Gravenhurst. There is an IV charging network here. They have 3 chargers, which is good. That's what they should have at least. So I'm plugged into one of those, and it's going well. I'm at 73% after about 30 minutes. So a few, maybe 10-15 minutes more, and I'll be at around 80, and then I'm gonna head home. But yeah, you know, I think having at least 3 makes a huge difference. I mean, they're all working here for one, but even if one wasn't, like in Huntsville, there'd still be another one open. And if somebody was on one, like in Huntsville, there'd still be another 1 or 2 open. So yeah, the more, the better. This has to get built out really quick. I mean, every year, every day, there's more and more EVs on the road, and people need this charging, especially when they're going on long trips. But glad I found one here, and it's going good. All right, it's done, up to 80%. I'm gonna unplug, and I'm gonna drive home. When I get home, I'll take a look at the stats and see how the drive back was in total. So far, it does appear to be a little bit better in terms of the terrain than it was on the way up, but it is colder, so the cold is having a bigger impact. So I'll see what the stats are when I get home. So I'll see you there. I'm back home. It was a pretty good drive. Having to stop at a different spot to charge was a little wrinkled, but it worked out fine. It was totally cool going there. Looking at my stats now, my technique was good. The terrain was definitely more downhill, so that added 7K to the range. Outside temperature was colder today, but I think it was only about -5 or 6 or 7 out. So that's concerning. It's taken off 64.5 kilometers from the range. Like the graph is right down the bottom. The climate control is taken off about 48 kilometers of range. Now, I thought I had it off more than I probably did. Because it was so cold, everything kept steaming up. So I would have to turn it on from time to time to defrost the windows so I could actually see where I was going. So that's probably why it's down there. But I can't imagine if I had it on the whole time and had it nice and warm in here, that would have affected it even more. So that's interesting. But overall, not too bad. I had charged up to 80%, and I have just under 50% left now. 178 kilometers. Minimum range would be 146 kilometers. So yeah, it is possible for me to go driving in the winter up to Algonquin to go camping. I don't know what would happen had I not been camping at an electrical site, though. That's a test for another time. It's a bit more risky test. I'm a little nervous about leaving the car parked for a few nights, you know, potentially -20, -30, because it can get that cold at night up there. We'll see what happens. But I think the summertime is going to be fine. I'm going to have no problems probably even getting there in a single charge. I would have to charge at some point either on the way or on the way back, but not a bad trip for my first trip in my brand new 2023 Chevy Bolt EV. So there you have it.